Hey yo everybody, Haku here with my review for the new Walking Dead episode from last night, and that's Walking Dead Season 7 Episode 4, Service I guess it was called, and I friggin' loved this one. Like, I guess I can say there was maybe one real complaint. There were a few things that I'm like they could have been better, but only one real thing that I was disappointed at. And the one thing I was disappointed at is we didn't actually get to see them return to Alexandria after the Glenn and Abe death, and we didn't see them any time before Negan's about to show up right here. So that's maybe the one disappointment, but overall I loved the episode, and I think a lot of people may disagree, but this is one of those episodes I feel like I could go back and watch a million times. It was really enjoyable. Also, the Talking Dead confirmed that it's been 3 days since the Negan kill. So, that doesn't seem long enough. It just really doesn't. It doesn't seem long enough for all the Daryl and Dwight stuff to have happened there. So that's really a bit odd to me. And I guess that means at this part in the timeline, Carol's not even awake yet. So, really, 3 days, that just seems way too short to me. But Michonne at the very beginning leaves with this rifle to go practice shooting, and she fails at shooting, but she ends up killing a small deer by mistake, essentially. So then the next part up is the promo scenes, and of course some of that other stuff with Michonne was pushed back further into the episode. I just don't want to jump all around with the review. Want to just talk about that little thing right there. But we get the promo scenes next after Michonne leaving, and it's with like Spencer, Rosita, and Eugene at the gate. Spencer and Rosita are about to go on a run, and then Negan and the Saviors show up. And Negan kills the walker outside and then gives Lucille to Rick and has Rick carry Lucille around. And of course this is to show Rick, this is to like put him in his place, show him, I'm going to give you the opportunity to kill me, and you're going to see for yourself that you won't. Even with the opportunity to, you won't do it. And that's even further putting Rick into a place of he's not going to kill he's not going to kill Negan. He knows he isn't going to kill Negan. So, yeah, pretty much he says that no one's allowed to talk to Daryl. And Daryl, even being silent, I think Daryl was really good this episode. And it actually gave him a reason for being silent, so I'm cool with it. And then we've got Negan saying that he's going to decide what's half, because Rick is like, we've set aside half our stuff, we're going to give it to you. Negan's like, oh no, I don't care about that, I'm deciding what half is. And he calls this chick Arat to go and take the people throughout Alexandria. And I realized, I didn't even realize at the beginning, and I didn't realize when they talked about Arat last episode. I realized halfway through this episode, in the comics, not spoiling anything, in the comics, Negan has this chick Tara that he gets to do a bunch of stuff like one of his underlings, and we already have a Tara in the show, so they changed Tara from the comics to Arat, which is just Tara backwards. I think I just noticed that halfway through the episode, and I'm like, oh, I'm so dumb. That is, they just turned her name backwards. Oh man. But, yeah, so Arat is, we've seen a lot of, like, underbosses for Negan. We've got Simon as his right-hand man. We had Dwight, who was leading a group. We had, Wade or whatever way back when leading a group. What they call him, Little Jimmy and the Dick Brigade was a group of saviors. We have Arat leading people around. So Negan has a lot of underbosses. Oh, the one guy, what was his name? Gavin or Jared? One of the two. One was Gavin, one was Jared, the saviors that went and got the pigs from Ezekiel. Like, they have a lot of little underbosses for little mini Negans, essentially. So Dwight takes Spencer and Rosita's guns, and he also orders them to go bring back Daryl's bike. And there was a reason to it, we found out later on. And also interesting that he dumped out their water, because he's like, this way they can't make a run for it. They have to come back eventually, pretty much, or else they're going to have to find some water. Also, I was expecting the whole time, I was like, okay, Dwight's going to be a good guy. He's totally going to be a good guy. That he's going to, like, slip a note into Rosita's hat that he took or something. But nah, I was totally off. So then we have Oh man, probably my favorite part, Gabriel and Negan meeting, and Negan being like, "Holy shit, you creepy bitch, you scared the hell out of me." So I loved that so much, and honestly, for me, Gabriel was the MVP this episode. He did so much good stuff, and we find out first off that he faked Maggie's death. He dug the fake graves for Glenn, Abraham, and Maggie. So Negan was like, "Yo, I was gonna ask her to come back with me and be my wife." So they kind of to a point I'm like, "Oh, that's really good," but to another point I'm like, we see in the promo that Simon's going to Hilltop next episode, and Simon's gonna be like, "Whoa, so they didn't kill Gregory like we told, or like Negan told them to?" And they're also gonna be like, if they know about this, they're gonna be like, "Weren't you supposed to be dead?" when they see Maggie there. So yeah, this is like a pretty good plan, but also maybe not. I have no idea at this point. But either way, I liked it. I like that they gave Gabriel something cool to do like that. So they hear a gunshot, and they go to find out that Carl is holding this savior at gunpoint who was trying to take all their medicine. And then we have a great conversation between Negan and Carl. And it does seem like we're not getting as much Negan and Carl stuff as we got in the comics, which is a damn shame, because Negan and Carl's relationship in the comics is amazing. We might get some more of that later on, but yeah, we aren't getting much now. We're not getting much yet. So then they have Negan is leaving. Negan says that he's leaving all the Alexandrians food because they need their food. They don't have much of it. But he's going to take all their guns because it's dangerous to leave them with guns. Now, I kind of wish he would have only taken some of their guns because it seems a bit unreasonable or unrealistic that he cares about taking them all. I feel like he could have taken like half of the guns or 3/4 of the guns and have been like, "Okay, you guys don't have enough people anyway, you're not a threat to me anyway." Just making such a big deal about taking all of them, I don't know, it made Negan almost seem afraid, and I don't know, I don't think it worked very well. So back at Spencer and Rosita, Spencer starts to question Rick's decisions while he's putting Daryl's bike into this van that they find out there that somehow miraculously works, I guess. But he's questioning Rick's decisions, and Rosita goes into the woods, kills a couple walkers like that were part of Dwight's group to get a gun, and kind of dickbag Spencer just kind of lets it go on and just kind of watches. Doesn't really help her anything. Just, "Rosita, what you doing, fam?" So Rosita says that she does it because she knows the only reason Dwight would have taken their guns, knowing that they're going out on a run, is if Negan planned to take all of their guns. So she knew that, or at least she was guessing, that it was already planned for that to happen. So there are 2 guns missing from the armory, and Negan says that he's going to kill Olivia if they don't find and hand over those 2 guns. So they have a group meeting, which I really liked. I like seeing a lot of the smaller characters get some lines and character development in there. And Rick pretty much reaffirms that Negan's in control now. I keep feeling like I say Nick and Regan. I hope I don't accidentally say that and don't catch myself, but I keep feeling like I say Nick and Regan a lot. But Rick and Negan. So I don't know why I get that mixed up. I guess because Nick is also a real and popular name. I have no idea. But he reaffirms Negan's control of the place. So then Rick, MVP Gabriel, and Aaron search Spencer's house, and they find the guns there. But before they do, we have again Gabriel saying, "I believe in you, Rick. We're friends now. I know that this will work out." And I love that. I love it so much. Because for Gabriel right now, he didn't trust Rick at first. He's been building it, and Rick forgiving him and putting him in charge while he was out trying to get Maggie to the hilltop really cements their relationship to be stronger now than it ever was. And for Gabriel personally, he has more reason to believe in Rick now than ever. So I think, again, that's really strong, and it starts planting the seeds that Rick isn't going to take this forever. His people aren't going to take it forever. Michonne starts to plant those seeds too as well, where we're like, okay, they're eventually going to have to stand up to Negan. They just have to eventually. So I really like that we're getting those seeds planted there. But they find the guns along with some booze and some canned goods in a vent in Spencer's house. So then we see Enid is trying to keep these green balloons that a savior's trying to take, so we get some creepy stuff there, but I like that they threw it in because, again, I like seeing some of the smaller, newer characters like Enid getting some good development. So yeah, that worked really well for me. Then Rick sees Michonne while the saviors are about to leave, and he goes to her. Rick takes the rifle that she had taken out to go and practice, and he gives it to Negan. And I think that was a really good character point because it shows that Rick is like, he knows. He's like, if they see us out on a run with a gun, if he sees a gun hidden somewhere, if they ever come back and search again, they are going to kill somebody. We don't need that. We don't need to risk people's lives for a gun. So I like that that's what he's going with here, and it shows that he really cares about their lives more than a lot of this other stuff going down. He cares more about their lives than standing up to Negan, and if he can find a way to stand up to Negan that isn't risking their lives as much, he'll probably take it. But for right now, he wants people to be safe. So then, right before they leave, Rick asks if Daryl can stay with them at Alexandria, so Negan's like, no. But if Daryl wants to, I mean, maybe he can plead his case, and Daryl stays silent. Which I think is good, because I think they said a lot without saying anything. I think that Daryl, just from the look of him, just from what he's going through, I think he feels guilty. I think he feels like maybe he doesn't deserve to be back with everyone after he got Glenn killed. I think that Daryl has a really good bit of character work and emotion going on inside him right now. So, yeah, I think there's more. We're going to get some more good stuff with Daryl, so this was a good way to do it, but small and silently, and lead us into bigger, better stuff later. So then Dwight uses Daryl's motorcycle to further push him, try to convince him, look, all you do, say the word, become a savior, you're going to live comfortably, you can get your bike back, you can get your crossbow back, just give in, don't end up on the fence. And it's like Dwight being a dick, but also in a way kind of caring for Daryl and trying to do what's best for him, because it kind of is best for Daryl, even if he wants to betray Negan later, to at least take the deal for now so that he doesn't die. So Daryl's more trying to make a point than seeing it that way, though, which is also admirable. I'm just saying that Dwight is kind of like a dick, but it's one of those things where you never really know. You never really know if it's completely good or bad, where he's doing some bad stuff for some good reasons. He occasionally might do something good. It's a very moral gray area with Dwight, which I think is done very well here. I think the show's been doing an amazing job at portraying that moral gray area. So then Negan makes Rick thank him, and then he leaves. And I really wish they had the line, because, again, in the comics, it's not a spoiler, way back at the lineup, when Rick's like, it could be me, or something along those lines, Negan's like, oh no, I can't kill you. You're the leader. You'll become a martyr. I'm going to slide my dick down your throat and make you thank me for it. I wish they had put that in the show for two reasons. To show the reason he couldn't kill Rick. Rick would be a martyr if he killed him. And also to show that he was going to break him, and because it would lead into when, in this episode, he's like, I just slid my dick down your throat and made you thank me for it. I think it would have been a good full circle thing. It was a good line here, but it would have been an even better line if we had the build-up line way back at the lineup. So once he leaves, we have Rick and Spencer having a really harsh and also really great conversation. I loved the tension between Rick and Spencer there. And Rosita chewing out Spencer was great. I loved Rosita this episode. So Rick's speech to Michonne there was also amazing at the end, where he brings up Shane, because of course Michonne didn't really know about Shane. I had completely forgot that Shane had died by the time Michonne even came around. And he brought up like accepting things, accepting that Judith isn't his, or at least he doesn't believe that she's his, and she probably isn't, given the timeline of things, and accepting that we have to live under Negan now to stay safe. So I like that his speech, it brought up old characters and had a very good point with it. The point was accepting things that you don't like, and I think it was a really good speech to show where he's at right now as a character. And it makes you really respect him even more, being like, I know she's not really my daughter, but he was my best friend. She's the daughter of my wife, and I've got to protect her. I've got to make sure that she grows up safe. I love that. So then Michonne goes out again and finds the burned mattresses and is rightfully fucking pissed. That's a dick fucking move. And Rosita tasks Eugene with making her a bullet, which I think, again, could lead to some really cool stuff in the future. What if she gets Eugene to make one bullet and she's like, this is the one I want to kill Negan with? That'd be just really cool for Rosita. Because I have said, and getting into my thoughts on the episode as a whole, I've said a lot of times that I don't feel for Rosita very much. I don't think they give her character very good storylines. I think that she stays mostly kind of a bitchy attitude. She doesn't get much character development. She's one of the least developed characters that's been there for such a long time. So I loved Rosita this episode. I thought she got a ton of development. I thought this is the most development she's ever gotten. She did so many cool things. I loved when she chewed out Spencer. She figured out that Negan was taking all the guns, so she found one herself. Rosita here for me was a great bit of character development. And this episode as a whole, great for character development. We got so much development, even for characters we've barely seen like Olivia. I thought this was done very well. Also, another thing I gotta commend, Negan and Dwight brought to life on the screen from the comics. Negan and Dwight's portrayals are just amazing. Props highly to, I think his name is Austin Emilio, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Both amazing. I love what they're doing with the characters. Especially Dwight. Dwight and Negan are both some of my favorite characters from the comics, but Dwight and Jesus probably fight for my favorite character between the two of them. So I love what they're doing with them. Gabriel this episode was the MVP, though. I loved what he did with digging the graves. I love that he's the one telling Rick, we can do this. We can figure something out. So I really, really liked him here. One thing, not really a negative, just something I wanted to point out and say maybe isn't the best it could have been. The saviors here seemed a bit too oppressive. Like, it seems like you would want to make the Alexandrians comfortable with you taking half their stuff. You wouldn't want to just take their mattresses and burn them for the hell of it to make them uncomfortable. You'd want to make them think, okay, we can give them half our stuff and still be very comfortable, still lead very nice lives. Have them scared to betray you, but also feel comfortable under you. So it doesn't really make sense for them to be that oppressive. That's just going to make them want to fight back against you more. So that's one other thing that's not a total negative, because it did do some okay things with the story and led into some more development. But I don't know. It's got good and bad. It's not completely bad. It's not a total con for the episode, but it isn't the best thing, because it does have its own drawbacks. But I loved the feeling of this episode. This is probably the most I've ever laughed during a Walking Dead episode. It was just really funny. There were so many good comedy bits with a bunch of, like, even while I was laughing and having the comedy bits, I was always tense. There was so much tension. Like, you didn't know if somebody was going to hurt somebody, if somebody was going to kill somebody, if somebody was going to do something real freaking stupid. Like, there was so much tension mixed in with the comedy and stuff. And it was just really fun to watch. It was an enjoyable ride. And I think it might not be so much for show-only watchers. I think show-only watchers probably won't be as happy with it. They'll probably still enjoy it. It was an enjoyable episode, but I don't know if they'll be as happy. But I feel like comic readers, seeing stuff like this, seeing some of these lines and stuff brought to life on the show, just was so good and done so well. So there are definitely some bad things, but I think the good really overcomes it, and I think it was super fun to watch. So overall, giving it a score, I'd give it 8.5 bean and booze stashes out of 10. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was really, really freaking good, but it wasn't perfect. I think a big thing with it not being perfect is it looks like next week we're going to go to episodes that aren't bottle episodes, that we're going to be jumping around between different groups a little bit. I think we should have been doing that a bit all season. I think that having every episode so far be a bottle episode has sort of drug us down. I really do think this was good to be extended to an hour and a half, because the extension really helped us get through all this character development. I felt like everything here was pretty necessary for the characters, and I like that we did it because it's necessary for the characters, and we were like, okay, let's just do it in one episode so we don't have to drag it out any longer. So I like that they just did it. They didn't drag it out. They got it done with. So I guess that's another good thing I can say about the episode. But I'm excited next week to see where we go, since it seems like we'll be jumping around a bit. I'm a little bit confused because I'm like, the Hilltop of all places seems like a place that we have enough content. We could do a full episode of Hilltop and nothing else and not feel empty or stretched. So, yeah, I'm kind of confused at why out of all of them that one's not a bottle episode. But whatever, I'm happy and I'm excited to see what happens. I love the Hilltop, so I'm really excited to see them again. Jesus, like I said, one of my favorite characters. I'm really excited to see him again. And of course, Maggie and Sasha. I have been wanting ever since episode 1 to see what's happening with Maggie and Sasha. But either way, I've gotten way off topic. I'll have a prediction video for the next episode up Thursday or Friday probably, and then my review next Monday of next week's episode. And that would be it. So I suppose that's it. So thank you so much once again for watching. So if you did like this video, comment down there and tell me what you thought of this episode, what you thought of all of my thoughts on it. I'm really interested to see what you guys thought, how you thought different things were handled, stuff like that. Subscribe for more of The Walking Dead and a ton of other things on the channel. I cover both the TV show and the comics, and I talk about Fear the Walking Dead and cover it too when it's on. So yeah, I would say check out the place if you want. Follow on Twitter if you want as well. I'll try to keep you updated there on stuff for the channel, like whenever I push stuff, or whenever I push stuff back, post stuff, cancel anything even. I don't think that's ever really happened. But anything like that, I'll try to keep you in line with. I'll try to keep you updated on. But that's it. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.